Welcome to Macro Money Talk, where we dissect the hidden mechanisms of wealth, power, and the structures shaping our modern world. We often admire the ultra-wealthy, but today we explore the darker reality of how extreme inequality fractures our collective human experience. It begins with a profound disconnection from reality, where money buys a permanent separation from the social consequences of their actions. When you live in a bubble of private jets and gated communities, empathy for the common struggle begins to slowly fade away. They do not feel the rising cost of bread or the fear of unemployment, creating a dangerous blind spot in leadership. This isolation allows them to make decisions that devastate millions without ever having to witness the pain those choices actually cause. To protect this bubble, they must control the narrative, turning our attention to the second pillar of their power: media manipulation. Billionaires purchase major media outlets not for profit, but to shape public opinion and decide what we should or shouldn't discuss. They hire armies of public relations experts to spin stories, burying their scandals while highlighting their minor acts of calculated charity. This control ensures that the public remains focused on trivial distractions rather than the systemic issues that keep the wealthy in power. Social media platforms are also not neutral. They are engineered to amplify divisive content while suppressing calls for genuine economic reform. From media control, we move to political interference, where democracy is quietly transformed into a system of $1, one vote. Lobbying has become a legalized form of bribery, allowing the ultra-rich to write the very laws that are supposed to regulate them. They fund political campaigns to ensure that whoever wins the election remains indebted to their interests rather than the public good. Regulations meant to protect the environment or workers are dismantled piece by piece, tailored specifically to maximize corporate profits at all costs. The concept of one person, one vote is an illusion, when a single donation can outweigh the collective voice of thousands. This political power leads us to the fourth issue: monopolies that crush healthy competition and stifle true innovation in the market. Instead of competing fairly, they acquire potential rivals early, locking down the market to dictate prices and control consumer choices completely. They create barriers to entry so high that no startup, no matter how brilliant, can ever hope to challenge their dominance. Innovation suffers because when you own the entire playing field, you no longer need to improve your product to keep customers. The consumer pays the price through higher costs and lower quality, while the monopolist reaps supernormal profits protected by their moat. Maintaining this wealth requires a sophisticated system of unfair taxation, which is perhaps the most infuriating aspect for the working class. Through complex financial structures and offshore accounts, billionaires often pay a lower effective tax rate than their own secretaries and cleaners. They do not take salaries like you do. Instead, they borrow against their appreciating assets to avoid triggering taxable income events. This strategy, known as buy, borrow, die, allows dynastic wealth to accumulate indefinitely without ever contributing its fair share to society. The result is underfunded schools, crumbling infrastructure, and a shrinking safety net. As the tax burden shifts entirely to the middle class, This leads to a mathematical and ethical injustice so vast that the human brain struggles to comprehend the true scale of it. A billion is not just a million with a B, it is a scale of wealth that transforms money into absolute power. To visualize it, 1 million seconds is about 11 days, while 1 billion seconds is nearly 32 years of your life. At this level, wealth is no longer a reward for success. It becomes a tool to control nations and dictate global agendas. Ethically, no individual can work hard enough to justify hoarding resources that could eliminate poverty or cure diseases for millions of people. Even worse is the tendency to profit from crisis and war, turning human suffering into a lucrative revenue stream for their portfolios. Defense contractors and certain industries see conflict not as a tragedy, but as a spike in quarterly earnings and shareholder value. Disaster capitalism allows them to swoop in after catastrophes, buying up distressed assets for pennies on the dollar to rebuild for profit. During pandemics, while small businesses collapse, billionaire wealth often doubles as they corner markets and capitalize on the global state of emergency. This pursuit of profit extends to destroying the planet, pushing external costs like pollution and climate change onto society to handle. They extract natural resources at an unsustainable rate, leaving behind environmental degradation that affects the poorest populations the most severely and immediately. The carbon footprint of a single billionaire through jets and yachts exceeds that of thousands of average citizens combined in a lifetime. While they lobby against climate regulations to protect their bottom line, they are simultaneously building bunkers to survive the coming collapse. Looking to the future, we face the terrifying prospect of biological divergence, where inequality becomes written into our very genetic code. The ultra-rich are investing heavily in biotechnology to extend their lifespans and enhance their cognitive abilities beyond natural human limits. This could lead to a speciation event where the wealthy become a distinct, superior biological caste, separated from the rest of humanity. If intelligence and healthy become products you can buy, the concept of equality of opportunity will be erased from existence forever. They will not just be richer than us, they will be smarter, stronger, and longer lived, making resistance effectively impossible for us. From controlling what we think to rewriting the laws of nature, the concentration of wealth is the defining challenge of our time. However, awareness is the first step toward change. We must understand these mechanisms to demand a fairer and more just society. We need to push for policies that close tax loopholes, limit political spending, and ensure that technology benefits all of humanity. The future is not yet written. It is up to us to decide whether we serve the economy or the economy serves us. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the hidden structures of the billionaire class and their global impact. If you found this analysis eye-opening, please share this video to help spread awareness and start important conversations in your community. Don't forget to subscribe to Macro Money Talk for more unfiltered insights into economics, power, and the future of our world. Stay curious, stay informed, and never stop questioning the price of power. We will see you in the next video. Goodbye. Remember, the economy is a construct of human choices, and different choices can build a world that works for everyone, not just a few. Invest in knowledge and community, for these are the only true currencies that cannot be devalued by inflation or market crashes. True prosperity is not defined by the height of our skyscrapers, but by the breadth of our compassion and shared well-being. Let us strive for a world where innovation serves the many and where success is measured by contribution, not just accumulation. Technology should be a bridge that connects us, not a wall that divides us into masters and servants of the digital age. Educate yourself on these issues, for an informed citizenry is the only check and balance against the unchecked power of capital. Democracy thrives when voices are heard based on the merit of their ideas, not the size of their bank accounts. It is never too late to reverse the tide, to reclaim our institutions, and to demand an economy that honors human dignity. Be the light in your community, shining a spotlight on injustice and guiding others toward a more equitable and sustainable path. Every conversation you have, every vote you cast, and every dollar you spend is a seed planted for the world of tomorrow. We must build bridges of understanding and solidarity, for a divided society is fragile and destined to crumble under its own weight. Imagination is our most powerful weapon. If we can imagine a better world, we can take the practical steps to build it. A society works best when every part is valued, not when one part drains all the energy and resources from the others. Your actions may seem small, like a drop in the ocean, but enough drops can create a wave that changes everything. Let us aspire to a freedom that is not just for the privileged few, but a reality for every single human being. Solidarity is the antidote to isolation. Together, we are powerful. Divided, we are merely consumers and employees in their grand design. Scrutinize the data, question the narratives, and demand evidence. For truth is the bedrock upon which justice must always be built. At the end of the day, we are not defined by our net worth, but by the warmth of our connections with others. The road to equality is long and difficult, but it is the only path worth traveling for the sake of our children. We rise by lifting others, not by climbing over them. This is the fundamental truth that extreme capitalism often tries to make us forget. Preserve what is valuable, protect what is vulnerable, and challenge what is unjust. This is the duty of our generation. Let your moral compass guide you through the fog of propaganda and the allure of materialism that surrounds us every day. You have the power to say, stop. You have the power to demand better. Do not underestimate your role in this story. Even after the greatest destruction, life finds a way to renew itself. Our society, too, can heal from the scars of inequality. Let us beat the swords of conflict into the plowshares of prosperity, creating a harvest that can feed the entire world. We are one planet, one people, facing shared challenges. The boundaries of wealth should not divide our common human destiny. Look up and realize how small we are in the universe. Hoarding wealth is meaningless compared to the legacy of kindness we leave. The stories we tell today will shape the reality of tomorrow. Let us tell a story of fairness, courage, and hope. Like a river flowing to the sea, Our individual efforts will eventually converge to create an unstoppable force for positive change. Write, speak, organize, and vote. These are the tools of democracy that we must sharpen and use with renewed vigor. Unlock your potential to be a changemaker. The world is waiting for your voice to join the chorus of those demanding justice. Nurture the good around you. Small acts of care are acts of rebellion in a world that prioritizes profit over people. The winds of change are blowing. We can either adjust our sails to navigate them or be capsized by the storm. What we see is just the tip of the iceberg. We must be willing to dive deep to understand the full structure. We are the sculptors of our society. It is hard work to chip away the excess, but the result is a masterpiece. Learn from nature. Cooperation ensures survival. Competition has its place, but collaboration is the foundation of all enduring civilizations. Look in the mirror and ask yourself, what kind of world do I want to live in, and what am I doing to build it? Time is of the essence. The longer we wait, the more entrenched these systems become, and the harder they will be to dismantle. Pass the torch of knowledge. Share what you have learned today, for an idea that spreads cannot be easily extinguished. We must rewrite the rules of the game so that everyone has a chance to play, not just those who own the board. Break free from the mental cages that tell you inequality is inevitable. It is a choice, and we can choose differently. We need to wipe the slate clean of false economic dogmas and start with fresh principles based on human well-being. Like a tree, a society is only as strong as its roots. If the roots are starved, the whole tree will eventually fall. You are the missing piece. Your participation is required to complete the picture of a functioning, healthy, and just democracy. Sound the alarm. Do not go quietly into a future where you are obsolete. Make your presence and your value known. Be vigilant. Watch where the money goes. Watch who benefits from the laws and watch who suffers from the consequences. Every detail counts. In the grand scheme of economics, even the smallest shift in policy can change millions of lives. Let the light in. Transparency is the enemy of corruption. Demand to see the books, the deals, and the hidden accounts. Justice must be served, not just in the courts, but in the economy. Economic justice is the prerequisite for peace. It is time to repair the mechanism. It requires patience, skill, and dedication, but it is the most important work we can do. Simple ideas can change the world. Fairness, equality, and dignity are simple concepts that we must never stop fighting for. Get ready for the long run. This is not a sprint. It is a marathon that requires endurance and unwavering commitment. Hope is resilient. Like a flower in concrete, it can thrive in the most hostile environments if we nurture it. Keep your eyes on the horizon. The future is vast and full of potential if we have the courage to shape it. Be persistent like the tide. Constant pressure can wear down even the hardest rocks of resistance over time. Reflect on your values. Ensure that your own life aligns with the world you wish to see created. Help each other. In the absence of systemic support, our mutual aid is the strongest safety net we have. Change is natural. Systems rise and fall. The current order is not eternal, and a new season is always approaching. Breathe in the air of possibility. We are not doomed. We are simply at a crossroads, and the choice is ours. Thank you for watching Macro Money Talk. Subscribe for more deep dives into the economics that define our lives. See you soon.